me while I was gone? 716, stand up. Mick on the beat. Let go. With them fly ass chicks who paint them pretty ass lips. With them trap boys out doubling up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a gift. Rap with a pack and see what it is. Swerving through traffic like I lost control of the whip. Heard the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines mean nothing when you're hugging the bridge. Red light, green light, headlight, beat bright. Superstar life make these lanes hang right. Fabulous flow make the girls sing nice. So rock cups full to the party break light. The car keeps going to the cabin sight. On to the next like they said, right? Yeah, swag too slick, make a hater wanna bite. Not out of Taylor boy, put your click to my life. So what I gotta prove? Living my lyrics like boy, nothing to lose. And I'm humble on the mic, hit the beats me bruise. The cat look calm like I never made a move. Back on the beat, back a hammer in his seat. These boys all brittle, dried up fractures. I never move cripple cause I got 2 feet. Provided my own means, boy, nobody fed me. The grind is impeccable, I've been chasing decimals. Now it's like in the money is inseparable. Catch the message that I'm sending to you. Anything is possible if you put your mind. I've been through it, but I've been spewed it. Now I feel like a champ, bitch, I'm undisputed. Thought I conquered the whole game, the hustle never been lame. Pretty soon the fucks gonna remember my name.
What up? We live, y'all. Go ahead and set it off, Ryan.
How y'all been doing today? Welcome to Talk Your Ish. How you been doing, Kingzar?
Man, you know, we in here doing it big. You know, we got Dennis is gonna be in and out just for the audience. You know, he's gonna be taking flight coming to the West for a big weekend, you know, set up a lot of people know what's going down. And so we got the crew gonna be taking care of with the chocolate woman. Speaking of the chocolate woman, you know, what's going on? How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's up?
Then we got that boy iPad, aka Sports Guru, aka the father of the father's son. How you doing?
I'm doing mighty fine, man. It's hot as I don't know what in New York. Everybody always saying, you know, bring on the summer. But the summer's here, and if you ain't got an air conditioner, may the Lord be with you.
And best believe
Hey, you ain't never lied about that, man. Well, welcome everybody to Talk to Us Tuesday. I'm distant right now at the bar. Got my co-host with me, Ryan Thomas. We got the lovely chocolate girl in the building. We also got D Hard Rule. That's right, the sports guru, and King's Dog in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, how y'all doing?
Man, we ready. We got your back, man. We know you in flight, so you know about to be in flight. So you know we gonna make sure it goes down like prom dresses.
So okay.
Yeah, that's your favorite line. Right? So let's get to these TAPs. This is no trash ass play. What you got, Ryan?
I got the Atlanta Falcons because while we gave up a 6 and Julio Jones, a 6th-round pick and Julio Jones. I thought when you trade, you don't give up nobody. The other team got to give you stuff, but we gave up a 6th-round pick.
Well, you know why that is. They had to boost up the trade pieces. Right. I mean, we are talking about Julio Jones, so they needed to add something to it.
Yeah.
They weren't going to trade with just him. That's very telling. Kind of proves my point that I've been saying. But go ahead.
Zor?
So for my first, I mean, shoot, I could go a few different ways. I was debating what route I wanted to take on this, and I didn't want to start early with the guru, but you know, I gotta go LeBron James, and I'm gonna tell you why. Like, I try to leave this man alone. This dude, he kills me. It's like this dude is so full of himself. So he loses. They lose a series. LeBron James. LeBron James. So he does his interview. I've seen many players, many stars, you know, that lose or whatever. This dude gives an interview. They're asking him about the team and serious questions. This dude starts promoting Space Jam 2. I don't know if y'all saw the interview when he said, well, this summer I'm going to be playing for the he was making a joke about it. Everybody out there, they were laughing. And I know you saw it, Guru, because you see everything the man does. And talking about, I won't be playing for the Lakers this summer, but I'll be playing for this with Bugs Bunny. And you know, just his mindset, dude. Like he would, like, I remember when Jordan would lose. I don't want to compare. I mean, Kobe. I mean, there's a lot of Iverson. When they would lose in the playoffs and right away, like that, they're stung. Like them dudes is hurt. And they're not joking right after the game or the interview and just like it don't mean nothing and blah, 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 blah. And he started talking about the Space Jam movie and come make sure y'all check us out. I'm going to be playing with Bugs Bunny. We're going to try to beat the villains. And it's just like, dude, the dude's mindset, dude, the competitive nature, I'm telling you, man, he's a talented basketball player. If he just had that, man, like who knows what he could have done despite what he has done. It just kills me, dude. Like just
Can I go? Can I go,
yeah,
please?
Go and jump in there.
First of all, to me, that's an absurd take. When you're LeBron James and you have gone to 9 of 11 straight final appearances, you've dedicated nothing but your life. You sacrificed your family, your wife, your kids, your great grandkids. He don't have them yet. You sacrificed everything, and you're talking about people like you, Zar. You're questioning somebody who's given his whole life to basketball. I'm a guy who gave my life to basketball. I used to coach. I coached 500 games, and God knows in five years. Okay, I was at down at Douglas Park for I would work a double shift at Metro North Railroad, come home and then ride down to Manhattan from Westchester County to coach one game at night, then to do the books for Miss Debbie. And so I know that life. I know what that life's all about because I dedicated myself to basketball, to community center, to kids, to working, making crazy money, never took a salary for any community center that I worked for. So I understand what LeBron James is all about, that life.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me any question.
So I'm sure you're very dedicated. And like I said, obviously you using that as an example and I don't knock it. I bet you, I could tell by your passion. But let me ask you this. How did LeBron James sacrifice his family by getting paid millions and millions of dollars and deciding for himself?
I'll answer that.
Hold on. And deciding for himself. Now he ain't like certain players who ain't as good as him and don't have control of being traded and being upset like DeMar DeRozan and other guys, but he's choosing to go to these destinations to team up with these players. So he's not sacrificing nothing. He's doing this for easy roads to win a championship. So tell me, how is he sacrificing his family by making these decisions?
First of all, nobody had an easier road than Michael Jordan.
Here we go.
Nobody had an easier road than Michael Jordan because Michael Jordan played with the great Scottie
You
Pippen.
ain't answering my question.
I'm gonna answer it how I would answer it. You get your minute of fame, and damn it, the guru gonna get his. Okay, right. So Michael Jordan had the greatest coach that ever lived, Scottie Pippen, what's his name? Cool coach, Dennis Rodman, Harper, B.J. Armstrong, Paxson brothers. He played with nothing but great role players and great complementary pieces. Okay, so the bottom line is, when you say LeBron James picked this game, he got to a finals with Matthew Dellavedova as his second best player on his team, with Kyrie Irving and that scrub Love, who's never done anything. Love never even contributed to any championship. He was terrible when they came back from the 3-1 finals. He sucked. He absolutely sucked. He was terrible. He was a goddamn disgrace. So don't tell me about Kevin Love, because then you don't throw basketball when you talk about Kevin Love. Kyrie Irving was a guy who did nothing until LeBron James got there. Nothing. Now, Kyrie Irving he's playing his ass off now. But the bottom line about Kyrie Irving now is I don't know if he's going to be at the social justice meeting on Brooklyn and Claiborne, or he's going to be at the Barclays Center, because that nigga's cuckoo, okay? He's cuckoo. So I don't know what he's going to do, okay? So as far as LeBron James and sacrifice, man, let me tell you, I make crazy money, okay? Doubles every day at the railroad. Ain't no better job in this city than working at Metro, okay? The bottom line is you give up everything when you give your time, okay, from your family. You give up everything. You know, the only time I ever had with my daughter was basketball, and that was because of me, because I was the driving force for basketball. So my daughter played it because daddy wanted her to play it, okay? And that creates a little resentment. So that could be the same with LeBron and Bronny and the other Bryce and the little girl don't really play right now. So you don't know nothing about that, man. You don't know nothing about that the man's family dynamics, and that he has to get up. And as far as that team thing that you said, that the first championship, don't even talk about those scrubs that he played with. So I don't know. You're totally off base with that. I get it. You guys hate LeBron James, and that's fine. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like I love LeBron James because of what he does for Black people. I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to come out here and say that like Michael Jordan was a disgrace towards Black people. Okay, because I'm 56 years old, so I lived that life, player. So I know what Michael Jordan did. Nothing. He wanted to make sure he put sneakers out there and made sure that white people bought his sneakers. Okay, so that's what Michael and that's why his wife at the time made sure she got the biggest settlement ever in the history of divorce settlements, Juanita. Okay, so Michael Jordan and LeBron James, two different types of cats, man. Two entirely different types of cats. But never talk about that family sacrifice, man, because this was actually a good thing for LeBron James and them to go down. Because, AD, all right, let's we can deal with his injury-prone self, and, he's got to get in that gym. He's got to work. Because if you keep getting injured like that, there's a reason why you're not performing on that level, and there's a reason why you keep getting nicked up. So that's something that's a personal thing that he has to deal with. LeBron James has been known to spend millions of dollars on his body. His conviction of being the greatest athlete of all time. So there's no one who has given more to the game than LeBron James. That's why he didn't want like the kid from whatchamacallit that's on Golden State now, because those guys are not on that level of giving of that time and that effort that LeBron James wants teammates to give. Okay, so like I said, you could go on any stick you want, but like I said, I know that life. I know that life. I don't know what you did. I don't know what you did, but I know what I did.
So
And I know what I
that was very passionate and nice speech by you, but I didn't mention nothing about the players he played with in the past and Kevin Love or Michael Jordan. I just said the man is a multi-millionaire living the highest life possible. And just like any other great NBA player, you act like he's the only one that sacrificed. He made every decision. He's one of the rare only players to make all his own decisions about where he wanted to play from day one. That's all I'm saying.
But he always fulfilled his contract.
Hold on. So playing the sport of basketball, yes, being away from family, but that's anybody. That's not what I'm talking about. When you make a sacrifice, I'm thinking you meaning, there's some players that get traded. They bought a home. Like I've heard it all day. I don't want to move my family or, blah, 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 blah. Like LeBron has made his own choices. So to me, whatever he chose to do, he thought was best for him and his family, in my opinion.
But you sound like...
I don't think he sacrificed like a lot of other players that don't have that control.
Well, you sound like some people, and I'm not going to call no names, but read between the line. They get mad if the players dictate policy, but as management dictate policy and they move you, it's fine. It's all good. The only reason LeBron James could do that is because he was such a transcendent player, that he had that kind of clout. And another thing is he always fulfilled his contract. He fulfilled his contract at Cleveland. He fulfilled his contract in Miami. And now then he went back to Cleveland, filled his contract in Cleveland, and now he's in LA. And I'm assuming he's going to fill his contract because I guess his whole theme is playing with Bronny. So the bottom line is, he's always done what he was supposed to do. And then he was able to have the freedom, whether it was taking less money when he was with Miami or taking the max now that he's with Los Angeles.
No, he got the max in Miami. No,
they didn't. They didn't get the max. They took less money so that Bosh, him, and,
but I think it was still a max.
Well, but it wasn't the max that what he could have got. They had to take squeeze everybody into the salary cap. And let me tell you something. I worked for a living, and the one thing I learned from working the railroad, I don't take a dime less, cuz.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't take a dime less, okay? Because that new car I brought my daughter, or the house you want to go dream to live in, they all cost money, player. They all cost money, and nobody don't give you nothing. Nobody. All right. So I don't ever worry about what another man's pockets is like, because we used to always talk that at the Metro. Don't worry about what overtime I'm making. Worry about what you doing, player.
Exactly.
Okay.
Worry about what you doing. Hey, Ron, laugh. Hey, Ron, laugh if you want to. I see that smile on your damn face. Go ahead, black man, laugh. Don't hold it back, because I'm preaching. I'm preaching, and you can identify with what I said. But that's all right. Hey, people can hate on what they want to hate on. It is what it is. But if you want to get into a Michael Jordan versus LeBron James, you're gonna lose that every time, player. Because I'm gonna get nice and dirty. Because I'm gonna bring Juanita, and I'm gonna bring his kids, and I'm gonna bring everybody.
That's off the court. You may win off the court. You ain't gonna win on the court. Okay. You're not gonna win on the court.
So for me, that's really what matters. Because
hey, Ron, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Anyway, Sharon, go ahead. Well, who's your trash ass player, Sharon?
Let me begin by saying I am both a Michael Jordan and a LeBron James fan. I am the best of both worlds, and I love being me. So I hope you fellas are doing well this evening. I'm going to start with my trash ass players. One, I'm going to go with Rick Carlisle. I love Rick Carlisle. He's not a player, but he's a coach, but he's a player from the Himalayas. So I'm going to say Rick Carlisle is first.
I'm a coach.
Is because in that second game, that second half of that game, I think it was the last game. Was it the last game? No, game. It was game six. It was game 6. In the second half, he had a bad lineup. He should have stuck with the big man, and he did. Yep, he should have stuck with him. And I'm like, what is going on?
Didn't play in the second half. I
don't understand that. It was working for them. That matchup, that lineup was working for them,
Mhm.
and that forced a game 7 because it squarely sits on him and my second trash ass player, Kristaps Porzingis.
Ooh.
I now know why he was performing the way he was performing. You know, I was concerned that maybe he had a little slight injury or unknown injury. His pride was hurt. That's why he wasn't giving it his all. I've seen articles today showing how he's feeling like an afterthought instead of like a co-leader on the team. It's supposed to
Mhm.
be him and Luka,
Mhm.
and he's feeling more like an afterthought. Well, last I checked, big time players make big time plays.
Right.
You're not stepping up, making big time plays, you're gonna be an afterthought. I don't give a damn how long your name is and how many letters is in it. I don't care how long you've been here. You can be a vet. You will be totally forgotten about if you don't step up. So he's on my list. I've got 4 more actually, but somebody else can
Y'all want
go.
me to go in the
Wanna
comments
go
or you want to do
around?
some
Oh,
more?
you to read the
No,
comments.
well, Ron, did you give any?
He gave
Yeah,
one to
I
start
got
off.
the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, you and old Mr. Hargrove went back and forth so long and forgot the show. I don't even
Yeah,
remember
remember
y'all.
he was talking about Julio Jones in the trade. Remember
Yeah,
this?
the
Oh,
trade.
that's right. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh. I think I need a fan.
All right, Blaze said LeBron complains and dogged Orlando for the 3 months bubble, acting like it's a sacrifice. Laugh out loud. Let his soft ass join the military.
Oh God. Come on.
Yeah,
Blaze,
why so they can have sex with the soldiers when like they do in the
Wait a minute.
military,
Wait
right?
a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Mr. Hargrove, I got you on this. Let's just go through these comments. I got something for you. I got something.
Blaze also said we ain't talking Bron or MJ outside of basketball. We're talking basketball, which I agreed with. Blaze also said, laugh out loud, guru. Let me see what's on your feet. You better have some shacks on.
Who
Travis
said that?
said, Blaze.
I tell you, he's something else.
Travis said, but LeBron ain't the greatest athlete of all time. Laugh out loud. Dalton said, the same thing. LeBron ain't the greatest. Blaze said, Bron, the beta basketball player, but an alpha in the streets. Let's see. Yuri said, what's up, everyone? What's up, Yuri? Yuri said, where's the host? Dennis is about to be on a plane. Blaze said, laugh out loud, what's Guru's thoughts of Karl Malone outside of basketball? And then Dalton said, Dalton said Ryan Tannehill has zero excuses. Okay, I mean, I don't know what that's pretending. We even got to football yet, but
Right.
and that's the comments. So go ahead, Ron.
You want to do your chocolate girl moment, Sharon?
We didn't finish. Well, I got more trash ass players, and we didn't do certified players either.
My certified player is.
Oh well, let me finish my trash ass players.
Okay.
We'll move on to certified. I also have Dennis Schroeder of the world class Los Angeles Lakers.
Good one.
Okay.
Dude gonna play 26 minutes and get 0 points in game 5. That was just absolutely atrocious. And then have the nerve to demand more money and say, look, I want to be a Laker, but you got to give me more money like he AD or LeBron or somebody. No, ain't happening, Mr. Schroeder. And I used to like him, but since he came to my team, I haven't really cared for him that much.
So I'm gonna ask you this, Sharon. Who's the best point guard out there, y'all, to get?
I have to give it some thought.
Because Lowry probably.
The reason why I have to give it some thought is because with this particular team, chemistry is very important.
Right.
There are a few teams out there where you can actually get just about anybody with that makeup of the team, and they can play just a few, maybe 3. But the Lakers is not one of them. So chemistry is very important.
Mm-hmm.
And no bigger Laker fan than me. This is not a knock on the Lakers. It's just the way that this team, the way the mainstay is set up, you have to be very careful about who you have on that team. So I can't really answer that. But another trash ass player, of course, I would not be the chocolate girl if I did not mention the great and wonderful CJ McCollum as my number one trash ass player of the week. He was who I said he was. Shout out to you, Donovan Samuels, because I hope you're listening, and Trisha Joy, because I've been saying for 3 years that he's a bum. Well, okay, let me correct that. He's not a bum. He is an NBA caliber player. But in terms of who he needs to be, he ain't it. And he is the weak link on that Trailblazers team.
Okay.
I've been saying it. They needed to replace him 2 years ago. Maybe 3, but 2 years. Well, this is a 3-year journey with me. And that man he hasn't gotten any better. Last trash ass player is the Lakers medical staff. Who the FUCK cleared AD to play in that game? Because he was cleared, folks. This was not AD didn't tell the truth about how he was feeling and slipped in there. No, they cleared him to play. I have a problem with that. Now, the people who are up and down loving the players having the power to choose and be in control of their destiny, y'all should be very pissed off about the fact that this medical staff cleared him to play. I haven't heard anybody get pissed about it. No one. Right. I've heard people say, oh yeah, he was cleared, but that's it. You should be outraged because basketball players need to be held in as much regard for their safety and their medical condition as football players. If this was a football player, everybody would be all upset. But this is a basketball player. His ass should not have been in there. A growing injury can be very serious.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to move and play on it and you stretch the wrong way, you can tear something else all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
And you might not ever be the same down there again. So that's very serious to me. And as a mother of a son, I think about my son and how men are made. I'm very concerned about that. And I was PO when I saw him hobbling down the thing. Actually, when he came out with his warm-ups on, I was like, I know they said he was cleared to play, but look at him.
He don't look right.
So yeah, the Lakers medical staff is on my list. And I don't know how their chain of command is. If the medical staff makes a decision and somebody has to sign off on it, I'm imagining they do. Whoever signed off on that, they're on the list too. So that's all my trash. Go ahead, Ron, with your certified. Unless anybody has any comments about what I said.
So real quick, since we're gonna switch the topic, let me do that. Let me go through them real quick, Ron.
Wait a minute, Sport Guru got something to say.
Yeah, let me say this. First of all, I think part of the reason why AD went out there is because of his reputation for being such an injury-prone player. I think that Charles Barkley's comments about him being what did he call him? Street clothes. I guess he nicknamed him Street Clothes, and that partly with every year almost of his career being hurt. There's been many of players who have gone out there on, half a leg. I mean, Kirk Gibson hit a home run on one leg and barely could get around the bases. I mean, Willis Reed came out there and hit the first 2 jumpers, and then Clyde took it from there, and they won it on adrenaline. Zeke played on that ankle against the Lakers, and then the following year actually beat the Lakers. Mm-hmm. I believe Jerry West, I don't know, the legend is that I forgot what they said about West, but he had something torn. I don't know if I do know that Phillip Rivers, and I've never been a big Phillip Rivers fan. He went out there with a torn ACL. So that's the most debilitating injury that we've had in the last century. So, you know, a lot of players go out there, and I think that, you know, like I said, reputation preceded him, and also the medical staff usually. Now, I don't know if it was the case, but from what I've seen over the last decade and maybe 2 decades, they generally run this line about as long as you can't do further damage to whatever in terms of, you know, your body, which Patrick Ewing, they said that about my man, Patrick Ewing, and he wound up tearing his Achilles that time. So, and they said he couldn't do further damage, and he did. So, you know, that it gets into that a little bit. As far as the trash players, can I comment on that now, Ron,
Yeah.
or should I hold that?
Yeah, you the comment.
Well, so if you're talking about any trash players, well, you know, Jay Crowder, who last year was a disgrace when he played with Cleveland. You know, he was, you know, doing the salsa and all this stuff. Hey, brother, get a championship, brother. That's all I got to tell you. You know, you can troll whoever you want to troll, but you know what? Complete the job. Just like Chris Paul. Chris Paul, I've never been a big believer. He's not on my top point guards list. Okay, it starts with Magic and it goes right to Isaiah, and then Curry and whoever else. Curry is not above Zeke in my eyes.
No.
Never will. No, as Rob Parker says, no way.
Not
No
above
how.
Stockton either.
Okay. Well, Stockton is below that group right there. Stockton ain't ahead of Curry. Stockton
To
ain't
me,
never,
he is.
Stockton ain't ever won nothing. He played with a Hall of Famer his whole life, and he couldn't win nothing. He couldn't win a diddly squat.
We know why, though.
Okay. Well, every year Jordan wasn't there. So there was a year that Jordan was there. He could have won that year. Okay. So that don't fly with me. But just like Ewing, who's my favorite, Jordan was there every year. He never won it. Barkley never won it. All these guys never won. Just go. You can say Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan, you know, he took a break when whatever unfortunate situation with his father and baseball and all that kind of stuff. So no, I'm not buying that, man. There was other opportunities.
They had a 2-year window. You're right.
So Jay Crowder, give me a break. Get the job done. You know, the only thing about Chris Paul that made me mad is he went all crazy on Wes Matthews on that box out. That was a good legal play. And he was cursing and he was just being despicable on the court. You know, man, and then after the game, he's gonna apologize, man. Hey, getting injured is part of the game, but you don't attack people like that. So this is their character like that. And then as far as Sam Darnold is concerned, I don't know if, you know, I just can't wait to see what he does, man. Because he ain't did nothing in New York. And the 2 wide receivers came on 98.7 Kiss FM and said that basically he wasn't diddly squat. So I want to see Perryman and the other kid, Denzel Mims. Those are the 2 wide receivers, okay? And they was happier when Flacco was throwing the ball and getting open more when Flacco was throwing the ball. So we're going to see. We're going to find out about Mr. Sam Darnold. Ain't no more excuses, baby. Ain't no more excuses. Okay, so that's where I end up because they on my trash. The Jay Crowders of the world, the Sam Donalds of the world, you know, and last but not least, I just want to mention as far as the point guards are concerned for the Lakers, I like Kyle Lowry because, like Czar did say, and he's right, LeBron likes to play with veterans, and second of all, I like to bring the ball cap back. You know, as it stands now. We got rid of the wrong dude. We should have got rid of that freaking, what's his name? That clown that's on the team now. Oh, man. Who?
Drummond?
No, the other clown.
Schroeder.
No, not him. The other clown. Try again.
Caruso?
Caruso?
No, not Caruso.
You talking about Kuzma. That's who you talking about.
Kyle Kuzma. Man, this guy is so upsetting, man. He just, you know what Kyle Kuzma, you know what he does? His mind is not there. He just like he fouls 3-point shooters all the time, or he just doesn't do things that like okay, or you're supposed to close out. I taught when I taught girls basketball. I coach boys and girls, but when you close out, it's jab to the ball when you close out on perimeter players. That means that the only time you run blindly, there's only one time when you go wild. that's on a last second shot. Like if the shot is 2-second buzzer, then you can go crazy and just go through the player. But other than that, when you close out on a perimeter player, it's jab to the ball. Kyle Kuzma still don't know this.
I think he's a good player. He just lacks identity and leadership.
To be
Well, he don't have to be a leader.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about playing with LeBron. It just seems like he's had bad luck where I don't think he's getting enough focus, behind closed doors or in practices. He kind of gets thrown in there when LeBron gets hurt. Then he plays more minutes and he's expected to, not fill his shoes, but to do a lot. And he does have big games here and there, but I just think he's in a tough situation.
Why don't you try naming one big game he had? He ain't had no damn big game.
No, he scored. He gets you 25, 30 points.
He had one.
He ain't scored 30 points once all year.
He had one. No, he had one. He did.
Who was it against?
He did,
I don't remember.
He had one. But listen, let me.
I tried. LeBron wasn't playing that game, right?
No.
Yeah, I probably. Yeah.
Let me get in and say. Let me get in and say this one last thing about your comments. Back to AD and his injury. That is my concern. Playing with a growing injury, you can cause further damage. And that was my whole point of putting that medical staff on my trash ass player list. That's one.
You wasn't wrong.
Oh yeah, I know. I just wanted to point that out to the people watching. They understand that was my thought as well. And we are in agreement. Second, there was one more thing I wanted to say. But about the point guard. Kyle Lowry is probably at the top of my list of point guards I would consider for the Lakers, but I'm still not certain yet. I want to look at some things first and think about some things first before I say. That was it.
What about Ball? Would you bring Ball back?
He's not going back there. He's going to Chicago. Leave him alone, bro. Leave Ball alone.
He asked me. He asked me. Shut your mouth, granddaddy. But listen, I would not want Lonzo Ball to come back to the Lakers, not because he's not good enough, because I think he is, and I think he could bring value. I want him to go somewhere else where he can flourish better. That's what I want. And I don't believe that he would benefit from being with the Lakers. I think I'd rather see him in Chicago. I would rather see him in Chicago or Milwaukee, actually.
Oh, a lot of talk that New York might go out.
New York too, yeah. All right.
Well, I've heard that he could go there too, but yeah.
So Williams, speaking of that, Williams said Derrick Rose would fit flawlessly with I'm pretty sure he means the Lakers. That's according to his opinion. I just don't think he's a starter, and I think that's what hurt New York because he was the best player on the team, but they had no scoring off the bench once they put him in that starting lineup. So I didn't like that. I like exactly the role he played. LBJ cutting that whole roster if he stays. He may go back to Cleveland, says Will Lombard. William Keck says Porzingis is the face of certified bum, 7'3" and can't bang in the paint, can't get rebounds, and confined to the perimeter and can't hit jumpers. Dennis, all man love, y'all on my way to the West Coast. All right, Dennis, we got you. Kellen, because don't nobody care about the Lakers, says Kellen.
He's such a damn hater.
Blaze says, speaking on AD, an example of disaster was my Magic rushed Jonathan Isaac off an ACL. I remember that last year, and he tore his ACL in the bubble. I remember that. Will also said you're pressured to perform when you play with LBJ. I do agree with that as well. It's probably speaking about Kuzma. Will said T.O. during the Super Bowl 2 weeks after getting screws put in his ankle. I guess maybe saying he was a Warrior, like you were talking about the injured Willis Reed, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great example.
Byron Left, Blaze said Byron Leftwich was the guttiest injury I've seen in college. I do remember that. I remember when he threw the ball, they carried him to get down the field. That was dope. That was clean. Kellen says certified player of the Phoenix Suns and the Atlanta Hawks. Andre, what's up, Dre? Shout out to Dre. The Curry hate is crazy. We're not really tonight. I mean, he came up.
That's Andre Robinson.
Yeah.
He was saying that
talking about the order of the point guards, but we didn't really.
Some of the comments that Mr. Hargrove made earlier in his rant.
Well,
okay. So Andre said LeBron walking out on his team was garbage. 100% agreed. You need to address that later, Guru. Let me hear your excuse.
Put a pin in that. He didn't walk out on his. No, it was more to that story. He did not walk out.
You let us know in a little bit. I want to hear it.
I'll let you go, but go ahead.
All right, Blaze. Andre Robinson had to go to Looneyville real quick. Oh, I guess they got a little beef going on. Williams said LeBron not dapping up after the game was BS, but Isaiah gets all the grief for not dapping the Bulls after losing.
Yeah, what about Kevin Garnett? What about Tom Brady?
Oh man.
What about Tom Brady? How come he did it twice to Nick Foles? He did it in the Super Bowl and he did it in that game against the Monday night game, and nobody said a word about it.
Nobody said a word about it.
Nobody said a word about it.
Joshua Bailey said bunch of crying tonight. Ha ha ha.
Bailey, go to sleep. Go
Yuri said certified player Brittany Griner. Will says
Brittany she balling. Yeah, that chick is balling.
I know that. Yeah. Will says, so y'all letting Bronzy get away with walking off the court 2 times without shaking hands. Derrick Rose as a Laker. So many comments. Derrick Rose to Boston, says Yuri. Will says Bronzy going to Cleveland or Miami. Remember, you heard it here first. And no, he's not. He's not leaving LA. He's a second life there now. And then I think the last one is, Will, we ain't talking about Brady. We're talking about LeBron. And those are the comments.
No, we're just giving examples.
That's just an example. There's nothing wrong with giving an example.
Not just for certified players.
Go ahead, Ron.
I got Nate McMillan.
Nate McMillan, yeah.
Yeah, what he done to the Hawks, they were under 500. Their head coach got fired.
Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce is his name.
Yes. What he done to the Hawks, that's good coaching right there. That's good coaching. And he deserved that job.
Oh yeah, well, I don't think you can give it to anybody else at this point, because he is still interim. It's funny that you mentioned that. He still got the interim on his name.
Right. So they need to go and give this man the head coaching job right now.
Well, you know how the NBA and the NFL feel about hiring black men as coaches, man.
Right.
It's an endangered species, man. So, yeah, they might go give it to, I don't know, somebody, Scott Skiles or somebody.
Well, funny you guys said that, because soon as Terry Stotts got fired, and it was like a couple of nights ago, I was watching, I forgot who it was. And so what jobs are open now? I think Orlando's open. There's a couple.
He's the front runner for Orlando.
He's the front runner for everyone. Right. This dude, he was kind of trying not to laugh, but he said, funny enough, Orlando, Terry Stotts. They asked him about another team. He said, I'm hearing Terry Stotts, and I gotta agree with you, Guru. It's like this man just got fired, underwhelmed with this Portland team that they did make a conference finals, but I thought in the time he was there, they should have did more. But losing in the first round to a team that didn't have their second best player, he should not be the front runner for all these jobs.
And you know what? This should be a rule almost. And the only guy that I can think of right now who actually did benefit, but it doesn't happen too often, where you get fired from a team, get hired without waiting, and then do a good job. Most people do a bad job, and whether it be Luke Walton or a million other people who are, the guy Geis for Gase for the Jets. Yeah. I mean, without and usually, if you're on a team that's terrible, that even exacerbates the situation even more. But one guy that did do I guess he did a bad job last year and then has done a good job this year is an African-American coach in Doc Rivers. So I have to be fair about that.
Okay. Sure.
Good job. Czar, I think Czar's next with the
Czar.
All right. So my certified player is the great Kawhi Leonard. So
Stay great.
I'm out.
All I've been hearing and seeing, I wish I could show the meme. My friend put a meme up. I don't know. It was viral after they went up 2-0 Dallas with Luka was Debo and Friday on the bike, and then they had they had Kawhi and Leonard and Paul George as Cube and Chris Tucker sitting at the right. And so when they were up 2-0, and I wish I could show my conversation. And I put, do you think that's I said, do you think that's a bit premature or early? And he's like, what you mean? And blah, blah, blah. So long story short, we're going back and forth. They came back and tied it. I put the eyeballs up. They went 3-2. He put the eyeballs up. Finally 3-3 and then 4-3. Oh, okay, you was right. It was premature. But it's like this whole time, and don't get me wrong, Luka is a monster, 22 years old, beast. But Kawhi Leonard has been a top 3 NBA player the last 10 years. And you can talk about Paul George all you want. The best player in this series was Kawhi Leonard, and he showed that in Game 7, the deciding game, you know, who the man was by almost putting up a nickel, you know what I mean, at the end. And, you know,
he only had 20. You know, you're right, Czar, but he only had
was that Game 6? Was that
Game 6?
Okay, my apologies.
Game 6.
Okay, apologies for that. Well, that was still elimination 3-2, and that was in Dallas. No. Hold on. Let me finish. That's still
mixed it up.
Right. No. I just said no problem. You correct me 100%. But that's still to my certified playerness of him in a 3-2 elimination game on the road to the great Luka to almost put up a nickel. You're 100% right. So thank you for that. But then in Game 7, when no team has won at home, and like I said, it just seemed like people just forgot who this man was. Like Luka, I mean, I get it, and I'm a fan. But dude, like Kawhi got disrespected. And I'm glad he did what he did. This man is a top 3 player in the league and has been. So now don't forget the name.
But the only thing I think, and Czar, you're right about what you said. I think that, you know, too many times people want to trash people. But the reason why he took a lot of abuse is because he had that stupid commercial. And then last year, he was terrible in those closeout games when they had the 3-1 lead, hitting him, and I don't know if it was George. You know, you could take your pick, hitting the back side of the backboard and all that other kind of crap. So he was really brutal. And then you know he also has a way of, like, you know, he had a way of opening his mouth when he never speaks, but then after, you know, he spoke, then he couldn't speak again. He got, you know, he was a deaf mute, you know, when he's hitting them backboards and all that stuff. So I think that's the reason. But you're right, he played unbelievable, man, and he was better than Luka. You know, they could talk about Luka. I know they want Luka to be Larry Bird, but you know what? He was better than Luka. And Luka, you know, had some question. You know, Luka put up some great numbers, but in certain points of those games, he didn't get a job. He didn't get the job done. If you can criticize LeBron James or other people for not closing, well, everybody's got to be under that same scrutiny. It just can't be. And I'm not one to, you know, sits up here and debates who's better, LeBron or Jordan. I just don't like people trashing them. But you know, hey, you know, Jordan closed people out. That's what he did. He was great at that. I can't deny that. I mean, he was unbelievable. Certain people are closers. Now, you know, Kobe, on the other hand, yeah, I seen him in that Game 7 that when Ron Artest, you know, world peace, was the one who had to bail him out when he was 6 for 28. Okay, he was terrible. So my point is, a lot of people have those bad moments. It's not only Kawhi had a bad moment last year, but he had an unbelievable game this year. He was spectacular. But that was the first round. You know, if he spits the bit round 2, then people will be criticizing him again, Czar.
That's the thing about sports. That is, you're 100% right. If they lose this series,
but
even
Damon, who's your certified player then?
You know what? I got to give it to the kid Booker. I mean, he killed us. But really, what killed me, and I don't know how you feel about it, because I know you are a Laker fan, and you're a true Laker fan because you was a Laker fan back in the day. You know, because you're almost as old as me, but you ain't that old. But my point is, there was times in the beginning, in the Game 2, I believe, where they double teamed him, took the ball out of his hands. Like, why didn't you stop doing that? Why would you let somebody go off on 50 for you, or against you? Excuse me. So I didn't understand what Frank Vogel was. Frank Vogel was lost. You know, he had a terrible series. So I don't know. I mean, rumor has it that Jason Kidd, declined to take the Portland job because obviously Dame Lillard came out and said that he wanted him to have the job. So I don't know. That sounds a little weird to me. Just because the best player came out and said he wants you to have the job, so now you want to take the onus off the management and you don't want them to make it like that was the reason why they gave you the job. Hey man, you first of all, you've been fired a couple of times, Jason.
Right.
You're almost suffering from white man disease. So like you'll be very lucky to get this third coaching job as an African American. And I don't even know that you're really that good. I'm gonna be fair about that.
I agree.
I'm just, and then you had the situation where you beat up your wife. So that's part of the reason why Jeannie Bush didn't give you the job in the first. Bus didn't give you the job in the first because of all the woman issues going on. They didn't think that would be a good look. Okay, so
Absolutely correct.
So I don't know. So we're gonna see what happens down the road in terms of who gets this job or whatever. But like I said, rumor has it that they may want to give this job to Jason Kidd, and maybe it's a player's thing or whatever. I'm not so sure about that. I'm not so sure it's a great move. I'm still, I'm long in the tooth. I'm still praying for Mark Jackson or Jeff Van Gundy to get a job, but it just don't look like it's going to happen for either of them.
Who your certified players, Sharon?
All righty. My certified players. Boy, y'all got some win tonight, boy. Y'all going long. Let me tell you something. When Dennis get back next Tuesday, I don't want y'all to ever talk about how long I talk. I mean, never. Neither you, Guru,
I said
or the other Guru. Neither one of y'all, Czar or Mr. Hargrove. Y'all can't talk about me no more. No more. But anyway, certified players, I said all the Phoenix Suns besides Chris Paul.
Oh my goodness.
Now let me tell you why I said. Now see why I gotta hear oh my goodness from you. I ain't saying that
you
about
gonna say the whole team.
Sharon, can I say something? Sharon, can I say something?
Yes,
no, please, let me say something.
Go ahead.
The reason why we're not letting you talk really is because you're so damn eye candy-ish tonight.
Tell her. She ain't know it, bro.
I don't want you to talk.
You see that shade of lipstick?
Dennis, help me, Dennis. Help me. You're doing it again, Dennis. Help me.
I don't know what you're
Listen, I'm serious. The entire Phoenix Suns crew except Chris Paul. Let me tell you why. Do you all remember the show where we were talking about who was in the running for MVP?
Mm-hmm.
And Dennis was here. And he said that Chris Paul was on this list. And I was saying Steph Curry. And he was telling me, no. And, Chris Paul, I'm not sure if it was you and him and Czar or him and Damon or
I had Joker.
Ron or somebody was like, well, Chris Paul, he's elevated the Suns and he's done this and he's done that. But wait a minute. Those last two games that the Suns played, they were brilliant. Chris Paul's shoulder was injured. He was barely a factor. And they handled the Lakers.
And Vogel ain't double keeping Booker.
That's what I'm saying. But they handled the Lakers soundly without Chris Paul he's like 70%. If that. Agreed. So he proved my point that I said that I said those games ago, those shows ago, that no, he did not deserve to be in the running for MVP because they elevated, but it was not because of him per se. He did come and give him some leadership. He did come and give them some discipline, but they were already on that come up. They were already on that come up. And I said this was just the next step in that progression. Last year, when people were talking about the Suns, they said, when I say they, I mean sports commentators watching the bubble, they said, watch out for the Suns because they're coming. They said this all last season. So don't forget that they said this about them this year because everybody want to give all this credit to CP3 because they feel sorry for him because he's a great point guard and never won nothing. Oh, yeah, give it to him. No. That dude need to earn it. And the part of the reason why is for what somebody said earlier about that play. And he had to end up apologizing for
Right.
in the game.
Wes Matthews Jr.
Yeah, that's Chris Paul. That's his behavior. That's the real Chris Paul. Damn the State Farm commercial. That's the real Chris Paul. And that's why I'm
I
saying
like his brother Cliff.
that's why I'm saying all the sons except him. Also, Trae Young, I give him all the credit in the world for elevating the Atlanta Hawks. I thought he showed class and not sarcasm and pettiness when he gave them a bow as he was leaving the court. I actually liked that. I liked it because he could have just put the middle finger up or turned and mooned them or something else even worse. But no, he just took a bow. So hate on me if you will, I'm here. That's what he said. And I respect that. And I'm also going, my third certified player is none other than Kevin Durant. We all know who he is. And he's reminding you of who he is. I love Kevin Durant. So those are mine.
Nice.
Go Kevin.
Let me jump
Go
in real
Kevin.
quick. I love it. Good one. Blaze said, if Orlando hires Portland's coach, I'm going to lose it. Williams said, I could go the easy route and say Luka, but y'all sound like y'all know basketball. Jalen Brunson, he was a winner in college. He was drafted in the second round of the Luka draft, and he's made it clear he's here to stay. His play all year and against the Clippers was awesome. Hey, what's up, Ian? Ian said, what's up there, everybody? Certified player, TMT, legally Robin Banks. Kellen, you're a fool. Will said certified player, Booker, Lillard, CP3. Lillard did have an amazing game, whatever that game was. It was they lost, but yeah, the dude's the most clutch. I agree with that. William, Kawhi Leonard crushed my soul, game 6. Not to mention efficient as hell all series. Blaze said 2 Tuesdays ago, I was like Clips in 7, claw, claw, claw. William Czar, great take. You're accurate as hell. Appreciate you. Andre, Luka was the best player in the series. Obviously, he wasn't. Kawhi was the best in the deciding game and in game 6, too. So don't forget that.
I think that's a fair statement.
That's arguable, but he did mention
that's a fair
Kawhi was
statement.
best in the deciding
In the deciding games, right? But Luka was the best in the whole series. I
that's
agree
fine.
with that.
That's why he was getting the praise, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. Williams said that was Patrick Beverly that hit the side of the backboard.
No,
Okay.
no, that was what's his name?
PG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was PG. Yeah,
He said it was PG. Williams said Luka was too busy crying to the refs instead of playing transition defense. I have seen that a lot from him.
I saw him do that. Yep.
Yeah. Williams said Frank Vogel was lost. He was dealing with injuries and terrible underperformers. This was his take, you know.
Yeah, he didn't even play Montrezl Harrell. What was the problem with that?
And then Blaze said,
I'm investigating that. I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
find out something for us, Damon. Seriously.
All right. No, I want to know that too.
But they decided a couple of games, but like maybe a week or two into the season that he was in this doghouse that he couldn't get out of. And I don't know.
I haven't figured out why. I'm trying to figure out why. What happened with that? I don't know. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. But go ahead.
Okay. All right. Blaze says, I hope Orlando hires Chauncey Billups or Becky Hammond. Mark Jackson, Williams said, deserves another shot. Will said Jason Kidd to Portland. Well, he already pulled out, so unless something drastic happens. Kellen says Coach K and Roy Williams needs NBA jobs. I don't think Roy Williams ain't coaching. I think they're done for good. Personally, I don't think they want to coach, but yeah, I hear you. Williams says Kellen Lane, Roy Williams is on a 5-year don't die plan. Kellen put Money Mayweather certified player. Appreciate it. Will says that don't mean CP3 wasn't coaching them up or helping them. See, y'all got that a little confused.
No, I don't. I'm not saying that he wasn't coaching them. I'm saying he's not responsible for them elevating the way they did.
I thought Monty Williams was a coach.
He is. Yeah. Just to be specific, Will LeBombard, my friend Will LeBombard, what I'm saying is in my arguments with people about this MVP, that's what I kept hearing, that CP3 was responsible for the Suns' improvement. Therefore, he deserves the MVP. That's how everybody was saying it to me, Will. So what I am addressing is that specific statements that they were making. And no, he was not solely responsible for that. He was not the difference maker. No. So he does not deserve MVP for that reason. And that's why I said what I said.
And Sharon, to make your
comment.
point, Sharon, to make your point, do you feel that Booker was the more important part of the equation?
Absolutely.
I
Okay.
agree with that. All right, Coach K turned down $40 million to become a coach at some point. I do think I remember that.
Yeah,
CP3 is a floor general. Andre said AAU basketball is not the same as regular season, playoff season. CP3, Kellen said, is the best PG in the NBA. Will said, you think Cliff Paul is nice
no,
on
he's
the
not.
court?
Never has been. Go ahead.
Andre said, wow, CP3 real self is what now? I don't know what that is. Blaze put KD is the kid who stands behind his mama to talk trash to bullies. Dre told me to be quiet. I'm not sure what about. Kellen put Luka had the ball the most in the playoffs. It's like 10 minutes to 1 per 40 minutes. And then Dre says, skipping my comments. But you know, hey man, so many, my bad. All right, I won't skip it. Dre said, hell yes. And then Dre said, yes, he is. What the world? Okay.
No, he's not. CP3 was not responsible for their elevation.
No.
Sorry, I'm sticking with that. You got to remember, yeah, it was the bubble, but they were undefeated in the bubble for a reason.
We're going to the chocolate girl moment.
Not now. You're supposed to do your questions, remember?
Well, actually, they got the. You want to talk about Portland, Dallas, and.
Well, I want to make sure Ron gets his questions in.
Go ahead, do that.
This week, since we didn't get them in last week.
What team was bad last year, but will be good this year, and will make it to the playoffs this year in the NFL?
Oh.
Go ahead, Czar.
Duh.
You know
what? I gotta say it? Do I have to say it?
Just say it, man.
Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, it's 9 o'clock. We are an hour in. We gotta go. We gotta speed this up.
And I mean, yes, they were bad, but they were, badly injured more so than being bad. But regardless,
I don't want to hear no excuses.
No, I said it is what it is.
Just tell me why they're gonna be good this year. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear about all them excuses for last season.
They're gonna be good this year because everybody's coming back, and we can't control the injuries. So if they don't happen this time, and when the team we put on paper, the great draft that we got of Jabril Cox and Micah Parsons and Dak coming back, CeeDee Lamb second year, Ezekiel's now going to be hungry and a lot to prove. I think we're in for a nice one.
Who's your defensive coordinator now, Azar?
Twin, the Legion of Boom.
No,
it was for Seattle, right?
Boom.
Yes, but he was the coordinator. I ain't talking about head coach, Ryan. He ain't our head coach. He was y'all head coach. As a coordinator, he's a beast.
He was the D lineman for Seattle.
I just said he was one of the main reasons he was for the Legion of Boom. I feel good about it personally. Much better than what we had last year with I even forgot his name. There was used to be the 49ers guy. What's his name? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Nolan.
No.
Yeah, Nolan. Terrible. So.
Who,
all right.
Who you got, Sharon?
I said that I think the Eagles are going to be better this year.
Make the playoffs.
I don't know why. It's a feeling. I have no explanation besides that. But when we were talking about it the other day, my first inclination was the Jets. I don't know why. I'm just saying. I don't know why. I just have a feeling about the Jets.
I say
you like Wilson then.
I say
I don't.
The Falcons.
But it just came to my mind. I don't know. Huh? You say who?
The Falcons.
Even giving up Julio, huh?
Yeah, even give her Julio.
But
And-
this is the thing about the Falcons, Ron. They weren't terrible.
Right.
They weren't just and see, your question was who was bad. They weren't bad.
We
And
were full
and I was
They
the
lost a
one.
lot of close games, though.
Right.
I am the one that agreed with you. I was the only one that agreed with you when you said this the other day about the Falcons being better. And I said, I'm with you, Ron. I believe the Falcons are going to step up next year. I think you're going to be a lot better. But because you weren't bad, this past year, I didn't put you on that list.
Okay.
I think losing Julio gonna hurt, man.
No, I feel like now I'm glad he gone. I like the Julio, but
We ain't
he's
talking about
not
him
a
right
one-man team no more.
All right. What's your next question?
My next question. What NFL team will have the number one defense in the NFL?
Go ahead, Sharon.
Who would like to go first?
I went first. I can go again.
Go. It's up to Ron. This is his segment.
Go ahead.
Go.
I got the New England Patriots.
The number one defense?
Number one defense this year, New England Patriots. They're gonna be on a mission.
Tell us why. I know what you're gonna say. Tell us why.
No. I mean, we talked about it before. I mean, once Belichick, I just think there's a chip on this team's shoulder. Definitely Belichick. The players he brought in, he had a lot of players that opted out that are coming back. He brought in players. I just like you had that feeling about the Jets. I mean, that's a big feeling, but I just feel New England, man, is in for a huge year, and I'm even almost thinking they're going to win that division. And I know Buffalo is this team everyone thinks now going to be a juggernaut, but New England is feisty. They're getting their players back. They brought in a lot of talent. I mean, obviously on the offensive side of the ball, which is going to help the defense because now they're not going to be going 3 and out all the damn time and going to have a much improved offense. But I just feel that system and the players that are in place and the chip on the shoulder, what Brady did, I think the fuel is there. And I just think they're going to be in for a really big season and defensive.
I would say them, but I would say the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Thank you, Ron.
Because they got something to prove. And what I mean by that, everybody knows Pittsburgh from their defense.
True.
The Pittsburgh will run the ball and will hit you in your mouth on defense. So they finna get back to their old ways. That's what they do best. Pittsburgh. They run the ball and their defense hit you in the mouth.
All right. I guess I can dig it.
All right.
Kazar, I mean
Damon.
What's your
well, I like both. Well, I can't say I like both. I definitely agree with what Czar said because of just all the holdouts and I think just that on that strength alone, the Patriots are going to be a force to be reckoned with. And as far as the Steelers, I have to defer to Sharon. Are there any defensive acquisitions that are really going to make a big difference from one year to the next? I know they lost the guy who what's his name, and
Bud Dupree.
They couldn't re-sign him. He went somewhere else, right?
He went to Tennessee.
Right. So they're going to lose him, and they lost him anyway during the season. So that depleted their defense last year, and that's maybe one of the reasons why they didn't do so good down the stretch. But was there any free agent acquisitions or a rookie that's going to come in that's going to make a big impact? I don't know.
You're asking me?
Well, you're still an expert. Shit, you still a beat reporter, so you damn right I'm asking you.
No, I'm saying, are you saying that to say that they're your choice or not your choice?
No, I'm deferring.
Do you have a choice?
The only team that I looked at the whole, the NFL, all 32 teams, and I agree with what Czar said. I got a sneaky suspicion, that New England's going to make a big comeback with all they had a lot of injuries also, plus the holdouts. So I agree with Czar there. I think that's a great pick. As far as where Ron is concerned, I'm not sure. I thought about the Steelers just, you know, in my mind, and I wanted to say something positive about them, but then I was like, who did they get? So that's why I was deferring to you, because you got the Steeler emblem behind you. You definitely know your Steeler football, and you're excellent. You know, as I say, you're somewhat of a beat reporter in our little collaboration here, because you do your homework and you're statistically, you know, non-challenged, and that's what you do well. So that's why I'm deferring to you.
Okay. So here's my honest opinion about this question. Since we had our discussion about it, Czar, I looked at what you were talking about with New England, and I think you really do have a good point about that. I was laughing earlier, not because I was disagreeing. I actually think you raised a good point. In fact, some of the things that you said was some of the arguments that I gave during the season as to why they did lose, because they had so many that opted out last season, and those players are going to come back ready to punish people because they were talked about for opting out. Right. And also because of the outcome of their season, they are, after all, Patriots, and they're going to come back with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. The Steelers are also coming back with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove, because everybody talked about how when they went 12-0, that they were the worst 12-0 team in history of the NFL. And okay, let's just suppose that people were right on that. Let's just say that. I don't feel that way, but let's just give them that. I'm not arguing that anymore. They've heard it, and they have something to prove. So you got two teams with something really to prove. On paper, the Cleveland Browns have a very good defense on paper. They had a good defense on paper last season. Mm-hmm. What did that do for them? Not a whole lot. And before anybody puts in the comments, well, they beat the Steelers with that defense. Okay, they did, but that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm talking about right now in this conversation. Okay? It just sounds good, snarky. And that's, you know, that might be a, troll or something, but that doesn't have anything to do with my conversation. So when you look at all of those things, yes, we did lose Bud Dupree. I have said on this show before, in our after draft show and on my podcast, Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? When Dennis Holmes and I broke down the draft picks, when I broke down the Steelers, I was very happy with our draft picks on both sides of the ball. I am very encouraged by what I'm seeing in training camp, because I'm following what they're doing very closely, probably more than I have in the last 6 years. I'm following daily. Because of social media, I'm able to access all these Steelers groups that are located and based in Pittsburgh or wherever they do their practice at. And I'm able to see firsthand what they're doing with these new players. I'm feeling very confident in what they're building there, and they know how to build players. So I'm confident in them. Who's going to have the best defense? I'm going to go with my Steelers. I really am. And I think we cannot sleep on New England, though. Somebody in the comments, I think it was Will Bombard maybe, mentioned the Colts. They are another one to watch because their defense was good last season as well. They are also one to watch. But besides those top three right there, I'm not going crazy over anybody else's defense. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. My next question.
We do comments or?
You do read comments.
All right, Will said.
Gotta read them fast though. Because
Will said, I'm following y'all. Good fashion sports talk. I like it. We appreciate you. Will said Dallas. Kellen said the Cowboys 7-10. Another Buffalo hater. Kellen said, please like and share the show. Yes, please do that. Please. Kellen also said Carolina will be good this year, 10-7. Kellen said lots of homer picks. Will said number one defense this year. That is what you mentioned, the Colts. All right. Kellen said number one will be Cleveland Browns. Will said stop it. NE is playing desperate football, bringing all them names. Kellen said it's a passing league. Will said Pittsburgh defense has nothing to prove. It was that offense that has something to prove.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Will. I gotta interrupt you, Czar.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
It's the offensive line that has something to prove, yes, but that defense has something to prove too, because everybody counted our defense out after we couldn't re-sign Bud Dupree. Everybody's like, oh, Bud Dupree leaving. Oh, y'all gonna suck next year. You know we're not.
I gotta say this, Shannon. That's what y'all do best. Y'all make pass rushers.
Not only that, I feel that we are the best team with the next. Well, okay, let me backtrack. Next to New England over the past 10 years, I believe that we are the best at the next man up theory.
Okay, so Will said top
how we
defenses-
prepare our players.
I agree with that. You really good organization actually in general. Will, top defenses should be Indy, Miami, Browns, Rams. I do like the Rams defense too. Tampa, Buffalo. I do like the Rams. That's a good mention. When you got two of the best, you got two at the best of their position, and the defensive tackle Arnold, whatever his name is, and Jalen Ramsey. Yeah, that's pretty tough. Kellen put, if I get number one defense will be, of course, Bills Mafia, but he's the same dude that said Homer pick, so okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Right. Buffalo's going 7-10. Book it, buddy. Anthony Smith, they got the Browns. My guy, Mike from the neck of the woods in the draft. Go Dogs. Blaze put Pittsburgh. CBS got something to prove. And then
cornerbacks is what he meant.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then Anthony said Falcons will continue to score on offense. The Falcons defense needs to step up. And then last reasons I don't have the Rams in is the division is stacked. And those are the comments.
All right. Next question, Ronald.
How far do you think the Atlanta Hawks will go in the playoffs?
This is it. They
coming out the East. They coming out the East. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a good game right now. If they were to steal this game, but they're down by 7, they cut it to 2 in the third. But I don't. They ain't gonna be Philly 4 times. I don't see it. I think this is where the buck stops.
Okay.
Oh, okay. What you think, Damon?
I've been saying all along that I'm so impressed with Atlanta, but I think that this is going to be a real hard series to get by. I picked Philadelphia to win. Obviously, the Embiid, we talked about it before in our little pregame meeting or whatever you want to call it. Some people seem to be, disabled when they have a torn meniscus. They got to opt for surgery, and they don't seem to be able to go at all. Embiid so far seems like he's pretty much his regular self, and that's the case with a lot of people with a torn meniscus. So I gotta favor Philadelphia to get. Now, what's going on in Brooklyn? It's really a disgrace with Milwaukee, and I've mentioned it on my posts on Facebook or wherever. Budenholzer, this is it for him, man. This is it. You don't show some fortitude. This would be 3 teams in a row. Atlanta, last year's team that got just skunked by Miami of all people, and then now this team. It's not that you lose; it's how you lose. No fight, no fortitude. You're playing stupid. You're shooting all these 3-point shots, and more importantly, you're asking Giannis to be a point, whatever the hell he is. Okay, that's not what he's good at. You need to get Giannis and move the ball around. And early in the season, when they took Giannis off the ball and put the ball in other people's hands, Holiday and whoever else, it seemed to be the formula for success. So I don't understand. And Giannis, you talk about not having a go-to move. I mean, he looks lost down there as far as, and the fact, and it really bothers me that the guy won 2 MVPs, man. Because once again, I know Czar's gonna go crazy again, like a nut job like me. But that was LeBron's award last year, man. It was, man. It was because remember all the time
about that.
2 words.
All the time.
2 words.
Before, no, Czar. Don't say Czar.
All the time before, it was about the East. the East was weak. Giannis was in the weak East last year, but nobody brought that up. All they talked about is his statistics. I can't get with that, but because he's just not that good. And then the fact that he doesn't want to guard, what's his name? KD. I mean, that's.
He tried yesterday, but it was ugly.
I don't think it's that he doesn't want to. I think he wants to, but he can't.
Right.
I mean, KD is one of the most elusive players in the game. He's hard to guard.
Yeah, but they're the same
hard
height.
to guard.
They're the same height. He's stronger and just as fast as KD, right?
I don't know if he's just. I don't know, man.
I don't think he's just as fast.
Oh no,
he's not as quick. He's not as quick as AD.
Right, he's not that.
Not.
The problem is they need to go back to old basketball. Put him back down, power forward or whatever he is, and let him do like that. Give somebody else the point guard. That's what they need to do. Be like
that ain't gonna solve the defensive issues with Kyrie and KD, but I do hear you though.
I mean,
here's my answer. Here's my answer to the question. I felt that the 76ers were a shoe-in to beat them in this series until Embiid got hurt. And now with him not being 100%, I can't be certain of this right now because Atlanta has great momentum. And momentum can be a difference maker, especially if you've got two teams. If you got two teams that are kind of even, who has the most momentum and who wants it more comes into play. Now, I do think that 76ers want it too, just as much as Atlanta, but with Embiid being not himself, I'm not as confident as I was. I'm not a fan really of either team. This is really something for me because I'm not a big fan of most of these teams left in the playoffs. It's really odd. It's been a long time. I think ever since that finals between San Antonio and Detroit was the last time that I was just disgusted with the NBA.
Just root
That's
for Brooklyn.
The last time I was disgusted, and I'm a little disgusted right now. And I guess I'm gonna have to roll with Brooklyn because I love Kevin Durant so much. I just love Kevin Durant. Okay, but I hate James Harden. So you see, I'm still conflicted. I don't want him to get a ring. Don't want him to ever get one. Ever. I don't even want him to have a ring being on the bench. Even if he don't play, I don't even want him nowhere near the ring. I want him to spell RI and can't get the NG on there. I don't ever want what is the stupid name? James Harden to
rerun.
Rerun.
I call
him Donut Boy. I don't ever want him to have one. But he may end up getting carried by KD, his boy.
Yeah.
Nah, he'll be back.
He'll
do his part.
Next question.
My next question is, do you think Aaron Rodgers will get traded or do you think he will retire?
Y'all know where I stand on this.
He ain't retiring.
Neither one.
He will be the starting quarterback for the Packers when the season starts.
Exactly. I'm right there with you, Dar. He'll be number 12, green and gold, standing around looking like a fool like he always does. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Agreed.
All right. My next question. Do you think Kwame Brown was a bust in the NBA?
Yes. Next question.
Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
There's nothing to discuss.
Wait a minute.
I don't want to hear about all this, what he did for his mama. And we're not talking about that. We're talking basketball.
I'm not talking about his mama or nothing like that.
I didn't say you did. I'm just saying what we're not going to do.
Right. He did play 13 years.
I don't care.
So I think the white Mamba played 13.
Keep talking about 13 years. Like,
right. Didn't the white Mamba play 13 years?
No, you could be a bust 13 damn years. Right. Yes, you can.
Wait a minute.
He's a big man. You forget, Ron, they covet 7-footers like nobody else. There's so many teams that got stiffs on their bench at the end of their bench that are 6'10" and 7 feet. Trust me.
Okay. Y'all the
All
best.
right, real quick before your next question. Andre, this is gonna be a good one for Sharon. Laugh out loud. Booker is more influential to the Suns, huh? He said, "Wait until tonight." And then Anthony put,
They don't tonight.
huh?
They don't play tonight.
No, the show, the next show. I guess he don't agree with Sharon about Booker being the most influential.
You do. I look afraid. You know I don't fear nobody. Lord.
Anthony Blaze put Andre laugh out loud. They're playing the MVP. Relax. We know they are about to get beat. Anthony put Sharon Mullen. I love P Town, but they have some work. And you said watch them work. So you already
said
did
watch
that
them
one.
work.
Dre put I'm talking about solely the Suns team, fam. Will put he ain't show up today. Fines kicking in 90,000 a day. Talking about Aaron Rodgers, I believe. No, I think it's 90,000. I don't know if it's per day. I think they were talking about that. I think it's the whole camp or the whole whatever this mandatory thing is. OTA.
He missed 3 days.
Right. So Kellen said, "How you a bust when you make the NBA? Come on, dude. Be real. Come on, man. That's all they talk about on sports. Come on. I know you know better
bust
than that.
every year.
Right. Will, you not a bust if you played 13 plus years?
Yes, you can be, Will. That's where you're wrong, dog.
Those are unfortunately the comments.
Unfortunately.
My next question: what should happen to the fan that spit on Trae Young?
Ooh. Can I go?
Yeah.
Ooh,
go ahead. Go.
Ooh. Well, fellas, if you listen to my podcast, did you hear what Chocolate said? I broke it down, what should happen to that fan and all the others. And what should happen is, number one, they should be charged and convicted of a crime. It should be a felony. Should be a felony. So criminal charges with jail time. Also, they should have to pay a hefty fine. Nothing less than $5,000. Nothing less than that. Nothing less. 3, they should be made to work maintenance in other arenas besides Madison Square Garden. In other words, come on over here to the Staples Center, clean up all the nastiest bathrooms and trash cans. We're not paying you, but you have to do this. So make them clean up. And 4th, they are banned from ever attending or purchasing tickets for any NBA games ever for the rest of their life, period.
I agree with that.
That's how I feel about it. That's how strongly I feel about all the stuff. Protect the players. That's where I stand.
I feel like it's a disease out here that going around with the Rona and all that stuff. People dying from it. And he spit, whoever the fan is, he spit on Trae Young. I think he crossed the line. He needs to be banned from the NBA, going to the NBA games. He needs to go to jail.
I agree. And what everybody else think? It's 9:26. We got to get moving.
What do you think?
And my best, Charles Barkley, I feel that the NBA should let the fan come down and get his ass beat. I've said that before. That's the first instinct, like Westbrook. It took 6 dudes to hold him back. I hear you. I know the pros and cons, and I also hear, what if one dude was a little point guard that was a big old dude. He might whip the NBA player's ass. I mean, I hear you, but that's so frustrating. I know those players just wish they could just knock them fools out. And maybe there's a handicap if it was like Kyrie and the dude is 6'8", then maybe you let I don't know what's DeAndre Jordan fight him or something. I don't know, but. Yeah, but I agree with what y'all saying. I mean, the real answer, but I do think I wish they could get their asses knocked out at the same time and then go through the court process, whatever the case.
The sports guru.
It's not much I can add to it. I mean, you know, I know you can't take people over the state lines. I know that much, but I think that the banning is certainly something that they could consider. They have the facial recognition, so that could easily be done in today's society. As far as I'm not into all this beating people up because like I said, Kyrie will wind up getting his ass whipped. So we'll leave it at that. And then and everything else, I think everybody else made some great points. Sharon probably the best points of them all. And it's just unfortunate that people are behaving this way. It's unfortunate that people have been, I guess, locked up for so long now that people feel like they can just come out and take umbrage on NBA players. It's sad. It's a sad statement of today's society, and hopefully we can get better. That's all I can say.
Yeah, hopefully. What's your next question, Ron?
My last question: what team got the biggest target on their back? Kansas City or Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay.
I'll let y'all go first.
Go ahead and get them, Guru.
Well, I think it's obviously Tampa Bay. I mean, they brought everyone back, which is unprecedented. So, I mean, Tom Brady is Tom Brady, and Arians, he likes to talk a lot of stuff. He selective in who he tries to knock, which I don't like that about him. I think he's somewhat of a coward. But it's got to be easy, Tampa Bay. And obviously, Mahomes, he's a great young player, and they shored up their offensive line, and so they're definitely going to be a factor again. And but 17 game season, it's going to be a game of attrition, and so we'll see what happens. Obviously there's going to be some dark horses. I'm curious. Sharon, can I just ask you a question really quickly? I saw today on SportsCenter, it's the backup quarterback that was there last year. The guy that the guy in Cleveland almost killed. He talked about he's going to be the backup. Does Haskins have a better shot of being a backup than him?
A backup for
the quarterback position. After what's the guy that's been.
Oh, I see what you're asking. From what I can tell, he's got his equal amount of a chance as the other dude, but I think he's gonna win it. I think he's gonna win the number 2 spot.
You think he's going okay? Because I hope he does. Because I'm a big Haskins fan. He's my second adopted son, and obviously doesn't have the rep that LeBron does, and the DNA was a little different for him. But I believe in Haskins, and I just think that he was immature. But I thought he got a raw deal from that Gruden jerk, and then obviously last year from the other guy.
I think if he listens to Tomlin, he'll be fine. And Tomlin is a no nonsense. He is the player's coach, but he is kind of no nonsense at the same time. And he thinks a lot of Haskins and encouraged the Steelers organization to bring him to the Steelers.
Okay, good.
I mean, that idea came from him. That wasn't the GM. He went to the GM, and that's how that happened.
So what's been going on in the little pre-camps and everything? Any news out of how he's been playing?
That he's really showing maturity. Those were the words that I saw. He's really showing maturity, which says a lot for him, given how much everybody wanted to focus on his off the field issues.
Yeah, because also I want to make sure that I know a lot of people, gave him a break because of the cancer. That Rivera was a snake in the grass last year too, and I don't like him. I think he did Cam Newton wrong. He's done a lot of stuff sneaky, and he basically, to me, has never been a really good coach. And I want to see what the Redskins or the Washington football team does next year. I'm curious because he got a big time pass.
Yep, I agree.
Zor?
Tampa Bay. Hell, Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, I don't know if y'all can hear that loud ass motorcycle. But yes, I mean, Guru said it. I mean, they're the champs. You got Brady, he's this GOAT, you know, whatever. And he took the pressure off Mahomes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kansas City is a team to beat in the AFC, you know, and it's going to be like that for years. But, you know, 43-year-old quarterback, you know, that hurts a lot of egos and stuff. So everyone's going to be coming for that crown. So definitely Tampa Bay.
On you, sir. The chocolate girl moment.
Well, as far as this question is concerned, I actually don't think it's Tampa Bay. I'm gonna disagree with you fellas, and I'm gonna say it's Kansas City. And the reason why is because they looked pedestrian in the Super Bowl last year for no reason at all. They shouldn't have looked like that. I don't care what was going on. They shouldn't have looked that bad. And they almost look like a high school football team on the field. They got embarrassed in the Super Bowl. And you don't go from being that great with probably one of the best pure quarterbacks we've seen in a long time coming in there and getting kicked in the mouth and just basically thrown around the field like a damn rag doll through 4 quarters. You really got a lot to prove and something to come back from. That's how I feel. Yeah, you got the natural target if you're the champ, but besides the natural target, they don't have much of a target on their back as far as I'm concerned. I'm going with Kansas City on that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really have a chocolate girl moment. I did, but I had some things go on today. It kind of put me out of my mojo. Yeah, I need y'all to pray for my family. My aunt, I found out my aunt is up in Ohio and she's dying and I can't get up there to see her. So that's kind of put me kind of out of it a little bit. So I'm not really geared up for my chocolate girl moment, but I will have it ready for next week and I will give it because I'm still mad about some things. But if y'all just work with me this week, let's just move on with the rest of the show and we'll just do the talk. I'll just do my moment next week if y'all don't mind.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What quarterback in the NFL got the most under the most pressure right now?
What now? Say it again.
What quarterback in the NFL under the most pressure?
That would be Carson Wentz for the
Nope.
Indianapolis Colts.
No, it ain't.
So this team is basically, according to everyone, and they're gonna have the best defense. They got the second. I see them ranked top 3 running game. They're a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl. So they bring over the number 2 pick from Philly and pay him this money and trade all this stuff to get him. And he is going to a perfect situation. Like you said, they got everything they need. It's probably even, I don't know if it's better than Brady going to Tampa Bay, but it's pretty damn close, if not. But I think this is it for him. If he doesn't excel there, he'll be out of the league in a couple years. So I definitely think that he's got the keys to almost like a Porsche. So that's who I think it is. There's a few out there that got the pressure, but you asking me to pick one, he's right there at the top on my list.
Who you got, sports guru?
I think the Giants quarterback, what do they call him?
Danny
Dimes.
Whatever the hell they call him, dropping dimes or whatever. Yeah, I think he's gonna have, because they you know, a lot of people here have really been critical of the general manager and think that he hasn't did a great job, and he did kind of upgrade the offense, you know, greatly this year. So it's going to be curious to see if he's the type of quarterback that can lead this team to the playoffs, because that's what expectations is. The Giants have been miserable for God knows how many years, and this young man, they took him, I think, with like the 3rd pick or something like that, a very high pick, or top 5 or whatever it was, top 6. And it's time to put up and shut up, and you know, stop this making excuses for him. You know, he's supposed to be the real deal. I don't think he's any good. I think he's just like Sam Darnold. A lot of times they overrate these quarterbacks, and let's see them get the job done. No excuses. You got your running back coming back off of the ACL. You got a couple of new wide receivers. I mean, it's all good in the neighborhood. So it's time to put up, man. I'm sorry.
I will say, who's the quarterback for Minnesota?
Cousins.
Yes, Cousins. And why I say that, because he has not been doing a good job for the past 2 seasons. They cannot make it to the playoffs. I mean, it just sad. They paid this man all that money, and he still had not showed up.
Guaranteed.
He has not done nothing for Minnesota. No, I just think he was garbage with Washington. But Minnesota paid him all that money. So, what, is they garbage too? I mean, I don't know.
Who did you say, Czar?
Carson Wentz.
I say Cousins.
Okay. And you said Daniel Jones. Y'all wrong. I can't believe that y'all missed this.
Who you
This
got?
is so clear. It's so clear. Who is the only quarterback taking over for a Hall of Fame quarterback right now?
Cam
Who's
Newton?
following up the last time he was a starter? He was 30 for 30.
Jameis
Y'all
Winston.
trash
Oh,
this
you-
dude
Jameis
all the time. All the time, especially you, Ron.
Well,
Trash him
he's
all
gonna
the-
Hold
win the starting
on,
job?
Sharon. Hold
Wait
on,
a
real
minute.
quick.
Let me finish. No, I've been quiet. No. You gonna trash this dude as much as you do, Ron, and you got the nerve to pick Kirk Cousins as the one who will be under the most pressure?
But I picked Coach.
Are you out of your mind?
Wait a minute. You ain't hear me out. Why?
I
But
did
can tell
hear you
Sharon why
out.
I didn't
I
pick
did
him.
hear you out. I sat and listened to you. I didn't interrupt none of y'all. I listened to all three of you. I even checked before I started talking to be sure what your answer was. And you didn't say Jameis Winston.
I got a good reason though.
I don't want to know right now. Let me have my say, then you can go with your reason. The man, the last time he was a leader of a team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he was 30 for 30, y'all remember? Because that's all y'all wanted to talk about. 30 for 30, 30 for 30. They need to do a show. 30 for 30. That's all y'all want to talk about. Crab leg this, putting up pictures of the crab leg with his face on it and all, just dragging this dude. Then he goes to New Orleans and sits behind Drew Brees. In Tampa Bay, wins a fucking wins a Super Bowl. Wins a Super Bowl. He's sitting over there in New Orleans like, damn, that's my team. He won with my team. He won. He won the Super Bowl with my team. And then Drew Brees, activist, the saint of New Orleans. Everybody love him. Revered by many. Great quarterback. Won Super Bowl. Got all kind of passing yard records. He retires. And you name the quarterback. So not only did you have a team that won a Super Bowl, your Hall of Fame superior just retired, and you are expected to step up and carry that team and not miss a beat. And you gonna tell me that Kirk Cousins is under more pressure? You out of your mind. You out of your mind.
All right, hold on, Ron. I didn't.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm disappointed in you, Ron,
Well,
because
yeah.
you're the one that had the most to say about this dude. But go ahead, Czar.
No, I'm not saying I disagree, but the only reason you may not agree with this, but when I look at pressure, the reason why I won't say Winston, because you just said it, people are still expecting him to fail. Some people are still saying he won't even get the job.
Pressure, Czar.
No.
Pressure.
Okay, no.
That gives you more pressure. If you sit up here knowing that your ability, knowing what you can do, and everybody around you is telling you, look, bro, we gave you a chance and you messed up. We ain't trying to hear that. That's more pressure.
Okay, so this let me go deeper into that. Meaning, I don't think people are expecting him to do good. Let me see if I can fully get it out. So what I'm saying is people aren't expecting much from him. So where Carson Wentz, now I'm hearing, oh, he had to get out of there. Now he's going to be fabulous. Darnold, it was the coach. He has to get out of there. Now he's going to be great. I'm not hearing that about Winston. I'm still hearing they don't have a quarterback. Taysom's a runner. Winston he throws interceptions. I just think that there's no pressure because neither one of those dudes are expected. They just have to pick one of those dudes where the guy, not necessarily Cousins, but even Danny Dimes to an extent, these guys were suspected to do some things and they haven't. Wentz he fell off. Now he's supposed to be the savior. People are not looking at Winston as the savior are coming in behind Drew Brees. That's all I'm saying, where these other guys are expected to do well. Darnold, he had to get out from under Gase. Now he's going to do well. So the pressure is there. I don't think people even, if Winston was to do well, I think people would be like, whoa, like it's a bonus. Like, oh, okay. Maybe it was the eye surgery, but I just don't think that he's under the pressure because I don't think people think he's going to do anything. If that's try to explain it the best way I could.
Yeah, I get it, but I disagree.
Okay. All right, real quick comments.
I believe that makes you that actually puts you under more pressure when people don't expect you to do anything. And
Okay.
you still have the ability to play. Okay. It's kind of like Tom Brady when he went down to Tampa Bay. Everybody said he was washed up and it would make no difference. Most people said that. Now you did have the fanatics, the Tom Brady fanatics that think, of course, oh yeah, they're going to win. But most people who were objectively looking at Tom Brady at damn near 80 years old thought that he was going to get down there and be serviceable, but they did not believe he would win a Super Bowl or be instrumental in it at all.
Right.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. It's pressure when you're good, but everybody else is saying you're trash or you fell off a cliff or you this. You can't see. You throw more interceptions than you do passes or whatever they say about you. And you could do better. And remember, folks, just like you said about that eye surgery, we haven't seen him play that much. I think he played in 3 games since the eye surgery. Yeah. And he wasn't bad, y'all. Mm-hmm. He wasn't.
I used to love Winston coming out.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big Jameis fan.
I didn't like Mariota in that same draft. I liked it Winston.
No, I did not. I did not either. Right. I didn't even think that Mariota deserved that Heisman, but that's a whole other story. I will not even talk about that.
All right, real quick. Will says Sam Darnold's the most pressure. Kellen said prayers up, I believe, to Sharon. Ricky Williams says Daniel Jones, the NY media will eat him alive. True. Will then says, then Carson Wentz after Darnold. Will then says, then Derek Carr after Wentz. And Anthony Smith said, your boy Matt Ryan, Ron. And then Blaze said, most QB with pressure is Cam Newton. Sharon responded to that. She didn't like that comment at all. Kellen said, Sam Darnold, you mean. Anthony said Carson Wentz is traded mid-season. I doubt that. Will said Danny Dimes as well. Blaze says there's no pressure because they're all stuck in that contract. Blaze says no pressure for Sam Darnold. If he's a bum, they move on, no problem. Kellen says Trevor Lawrence. Blaze says if Cousins makes the Vikes struggle, says goodbye to Mike Zimmer. Anthony says Cam is a great QB. He just needs protection and lighter colored QB. Okay. Blaze says Sharon Mullen, I think Cam will do good, but there's pressure when the team is expected to be a good and a QB gets drafted in the first round. Will said Jameis.
Go ahead.
Right. Will says Jameis don't have that much pressure as those other names do.
Yes,
Will
yes, it
says
does.
if that's the case, Stafford has note pressure than Winston. Actually, Stafford's another good one. I think he has a lot of pressure.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, but the
Dalton.
question was the most.
Right. Dalton. Yeah, I love Drew Brees. We know you do. You're gonna be hurting, fella. Will, no, they added so many weapons and talents for Brady to Tampa. Anthony was given a Super Bowl, okay? And Anthony says the only agree because NO was given that Super Bowl. And then Blaze says Anthony Smith. Another reason for pressure for any in New England quarterback is if Tom Brady is doing good and winning, you as the NE quarterback are now getting compared to Tom and the TB record. And those are the
No, whatever.
comments.
Who cares? That ain't no pressure.
You have any more questions, Big Ron?
Nope.
I got one. Okay. I got into a discussion and it's 9:48, so we got about 12 minutes. I
Yeah.
got into this discussion with somebody about TJ Watt versus what's the Rams defensive player?
Donald.
Aaron Darnold?
And Donald.
Aaron Donald. Okay. Aaron Donald, we know he's a future Hall of Famer.
Right.
There's just no question about it. We know this. But in my opinion, I just gave my opinion. I found an article that talked about TJ Watt, and it's I can't even remember exactly what the article said, but it was saying something about what he did this past season. And I said, I felt like he deserved to be the defensive player of the year. Oh my gosh. The whole day I'm going back and forth with these people about my statement. And I'm not upset that Aaron, what's his name? Aaron
And Donald.
Donald. I'm not upset that he got it because the man is a killer. And I understand that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm stretching. So that's the reason why you can't see me right
I thought you
now.
was doing the Matrix.
I have to stretch. I'm sorry if my computer's moving. But anyway, I believe that he deserved it. I mean, I'm not saying it. I still feel like TJ Watt deserved it, but I understand why AD got it, and I'm not upset about it. But I just want to know what y'all think. I'm sure all of y'all gonna say AD. I'm sure you are, but I just want to know what y'all think about it.
I think that both you cannot go wrong with either one of them. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I think it was close. I
it
mean,
was very
the
close.
NFL, they go with reputation a lot, and you got, it's tough because, TJ had a great year, so I'm not definitely, you're not wrong or you're not like out of your mind for saying it. So,
Oh
people,
my God.
right. No,
Oh my God. They said all kind of stuff about me. And there's just one guy in the group. He's such a damn troll. And
right.
he said I wouldn't have been upset if TJ got it, but it's Aaron Darnold. And then he argued me all the way down the thread. And I'm like, but wait a minute, you just said that you wouldn't have been mad if TJ got it.
Right.
There's a reason you said that. It's not as runaway as you think,
No,
as you saying. If you said you wouldn't be mad if TJ got it. Because
exactly.
when it's runaway and somebody else gets
Runaway.
it, you're pissed.
Right.
Because it shouldn't be, runaway means there's just no question.
Right.
And apparently there must have been. So you talking out of both sides of your neck, dude.
Now, runaway was the offensive MVP. That was a runaway. That defense, I thought they could have went either way. So, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've got.
Well, yeah, like I said, a few minutes we can end it early. Ron, if you want to say any last words or tell the people how to follow you, you call them on your flying high. You're gonna let them know.
You can follow me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, Flying High Podcast. Shout out to the Travis, Nathan, and Doris. And thank y'all. Thanks to the fans that without y'all, we would not be here.
Yeah, I like the fellas on your Flying Hard podcast with you. Those are some cool dudes. I
They
like
are
them.
cool because they let me troll the
Uh-huh.
hell out of them.
Yes, you do.
They
You
want
be
me to
giving
come
them the
on. I'm about to
business in the
come on one day,
comments.
Ron. They want me to come on.
Listen.
We'll make it happen.
All right, who else got some comments to say? I got some after y'all get finished.
Any last comments before you go real quick?
No, I meant
Oh, no, there ain't much here.
closing words.
Okay, go ahead. They're
Go
agreeing
ahead,
about the
Damon.
TJ comments.
Yeah, I just want to say, I want to say safe travels to our boy Dennis. Without him, this wouldn't be possible. So, big fella, get wherever you're going safely and have a great time. And, wear that damn mask. And also,
Yes, sir.
what else? Yeah, I got to throw that in there. Also, if you want to, I got my podcast, Sports Guru Live. It's on Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Spotify. So starting to pick up. I made all of 25 cents off of my tremendous work. So I'm doing it, man. I'm in the business. You got to start somewhere, and it's all about how many views and plays you get. So I love it. I enjoy it, and also we do Sports Guru Live on Facebook on Saturdays. And unfortunately, my mother had been sick, and still coming around a little bit. But I hadn't been doing the Musical Storm Soft and Warm because it's just been so hard on me the last month. But I'm gonna start trying to get that. I might even move that to like a Thursday because it's kind of hard to do the back-to-back shows on Saturday. So I'm thinking about moving that to like a Thursday or Friday night. So for all the lovers out there who love the Guru's sexy voice, especially to the ladies out there who love the Dr. Love aspect of it, I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to you. So once again, thank you so much. And shout out to everybody on the panel. I think everybody did a great job as usual. This is a beautiful family. We go at it, and then there's no animosity. I always thought it would be hard to do something like this, but this has been so easy. Everybody is just a pro. Everybody's, got their own strength. Most everybody has their own show. So just congratulations to everybody, man. This is just a tremendous group. I love all of y'all. And even though, I get kind of crazy sometimes, but it's just all about love.
And I get, for
me, my vote is for Thursday, Damon.
Why? Why do you like Thursday?
Because there's not a lot of other shows going on right now that I'm interested in on Thursday. So that would be a great night that I could listen to your groove and listen to it.
I like Thursday though. I'm really thinking about Thursday because Thursday is like you starting to get into that romantic. Friday is typically the love moment or doctor or whatever you want to call it. But I like Thursday and yeah, I'm thinking. Thank you, I appreciate that. I really do.
Thursday and Friday we can't be friends, but on Saturday. Now, anyway, yeah, man, another great show in the books. Guru said it. Dennis, get here safe. Look forward to seeing you, my brother, in the next couple of days. It's going down. Shout out to Stay Tuned, which normally will be coming on here at 7, the next show, but we're going to do something special for y'all. Most of the cast is going to be together this weekend for the big game. So we're going to do a live show, and looking forward to that. So obviously you can see most of us there. And I do have some other things in the works that are still in the works, which, I'll mention when that stuff is, ready to go. But other than that, man, yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing what we do. I enjoy it every time. And you already know it's going down like prom dresses. Let them know, Sharon.
All right. Prom dresses, huh? Okay. Excuse my background.
What the hell does that mean?
I'm moving past that. Let me just move on past. Hey, excuse my background moving around, but I had to stretch out right now. I'm having a little spasm, so had to stretch out. But this has been a great show. We missed our fearless leader, Dennis Holmes, the Ignorant Thinker podcast himself. We miss him, and we wish him safe travels out to Cali, and I know he's gonna have a good time. Zara, you make sure you don't give him a hard time. If we messing with Dennis, I have to catch a flight, come out there and cut you. I ain't playing. Don't mess with him. But
we got it.
As being I guess somebody called me the first lady of Talk Curious Tuesday. I don't know about the first lady because I ain't married to none of y'all, but I love being on here with you guys. I thank you for just for all the discussion and the commentary that we have and the camaraderie we have. I enjoy it every week. I am called the Chocolate Girl. I also have a business. I am the Chocolate Writer because I am a writer and I do communications and PR. So you can catch me on my website, thechocolateWriter.com. But I do a podcast as well called Did You Hear What Chocolate Said? And yes, that is the name of my podcast. And the last podcast I did was on, oh gosh, I forgot. But anyway, go check it out. I have 7 episodes on there. So you can look at them, and I think I'm up to $3.98 or something like that.
Give me a loop.
But I don't know. It's something like that. I know I got over $3. I just don't remember what it is. But anyway, you can follow me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, and there's one other, I forgot the name of it, but just wherever you get your podcast, just follow me. Shout out to Stay Tuned. That's coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern, which is 7 o'clock.
Well, no, remember, not today.
Huh?
Today, remember, they're not doing the show as far as I know. They're doing it the weekend because everyone's coming out.
No, they doing something tonight.
Are they?
Something,
Okay.
Something, I don't know. But anyway, just thanks Ron for being the host tonight and doing your thing without your sidekick there. I know that's, that could be challenging sometimes, but you handled it, did a great job. And Zar for reading the questions and so forth.
For sure.
And Damon, I tell you, you know what? You just come on this show and you add the like the preaching. I'm just stunned sometimes listening to you. So I just appreciate you, brother. I love.
Just imagine if you was on my train for 32 years.
Well, no,
I'm sure they're glad.
I was just about to say, I love this retired Damon. I love the retired Damon. Because before you had some stress balled up in you or something. But the retired Damon, you cool as a fan. So I'm good.
But
thank you. It feels great to be retired, I must say.
The Flying High Podcast will be back this Saturday at 6 o'clock. So thank you everybody for the fans for coming out tonight.
Yep, thank you, fans.